The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind is a story set in Malawi in 2001. It's an adaptation of the book The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba and Brian Miller. And it tells the story of William Kamkwamba when he was 13 years old and his family in Malawi experiencing a famine which devastated the region. And he, as a result, was thrown out of school because his family couldn't pay the fees. But he managed to sneak back into the library, and using his sort of intellect, tenacity, skill, inventiveness, having found an American textbook with a picture of a windmill on the front, he felt that he needed to start to build this windmill from junk that he found in a local junkyard. My name is Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I'm the director of The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, which is premiering at the Sundance Film Festival 2019. I think I'd always been kicking around with the idea of writing something, directing something. There was something in the texture of reading the book that made the journey quite urgent for me. I thought that it was a story that pulled together so many elements that I had been kind of, in my own way, wrestling with and thinking about in terms of a way in which we look at people that are in circumstances of extreme poverty and how we reflect on their experience and how we represent their experience, you know, cinematically. And to me, William's story was an extraordinarily epic tale of survival. One of the sort of first references I had for it was the way that the Impressionist painters had looked on rural France, a putrid sort of place, an environment full of these peasants and these people that had nothing and were perceived as less than. And yet the Impressionist painters gave it this vastness and a romanticism and a scope, and really qualified the experience with a sense of beauty. It talks about climate change, for example. It talks about deforestation. It talks about an economic famine. And so The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind had all of those elements. I felt like it was a story set in a very specific place, but had this kind of a microcosm of all these very deep-rooted elements that I thought are global conversations. The sense of not just a family, but also a community reacting to a crisis together. I wanted to create a film that was a slightly sort of teleportation experience, that you just go into this other space for a little while, and when you come out, you realize that you're quite enriched by that experience, by sitting with these people for a little while.